All right. here are some of the key elements that need to go into the letter. Okay? All right. Team, Kevin, and gang, whenever you're ready, over to you. Everyone, give them a round of applause. Okay. All right. Let's hear.
Yeah, to recap the case, this is the teacher went for a camp, and then the found that the cake is like one of the teacher reported to him. So like, here the students are drinking after the students went back, and also empty water found in the room. So
Yes.
it's fighting against the proof.
All right.
Yeah, to recap back before the share, like the action actually is like we ask the reporter Roger to write a formal confirmation to us to raise the case. So once the case is done, then we do the interview and we get the facts, etc. So go back to the entire case, right? We do have a high level at the point to indicate this. That's why we go for informal. The reason because of this, there's a remark about them, they are teachers, good teachers.
Yeah.
That they well known and well like the parents and students. The remark was good. This could be the first incident which happened to them. And also the reporter is come from, not the reporter, the comment come from the administrator.
Yeah.
So through the case, the administrator could be the parents because the teacher is talking about three parents.
Yeah.
So the parent might not know what is the internal policy process. That's why he made this statement, let's go for drinks, and the teacher thought that the green light is given because after the hours, then the story went back to class. So look into all these considerations and the behavior of the teacher of all these critical for any major action.
Okay.
Even though this cost drinking could be cost to major school,
Yep.
but we do all these things we need to indicate things because of the format. That's why we go for to capture the conversation into the video.
Okay.
So after having the formal meeting, we follow up with an email. So this is the draft email. Dear Yankee, Kelsey, written separately. Following our meeting on 10th May at 2:15 p.m. in HR, we would like to recap the points that we had discussed. So first, we identified the issue. You have been found to be consuming alcohol in your room while performing your professional duties during the school trip on February the date is. And then we follow it by stating the evidences. The following evidences have been tabled, and eyewitness has given his or her statement without stating the names.
Yes.
CCTV footage or picture has been provided.
Yep.
And we go on to say that considering this is your first offense, please be reminded that your action is unacceptable. Repeated offense will lead to a severe disciplinary action or one investigation. This is an email, so this one is next space. If you have any concerns on the above matter, kindly reach out to us by Friday, which is 48 hours from this email.
Okay. Everyone agree with this approach? Anything to add?
For me, I think what's missing is the acknowledgement from the employees. At the bottom, there should be a sign off where
No, this is an email.
the email.
It's an informal email, so you don't need an acknowledgement. The email itself is already a self-acknowledgement. Alright. Any other actions that, as a person in charge of this case, that is needed to be done? Any other actions?
Yes, actually we also discussed because this could be back to our first question exercise. What's the challenge we highlight? So one of the points we highlight actually is the awareness group technology. So it could be the sums of awareness of this thing. So even though we have set a reminder, there's enough conversation, we always need to guide back the staff go back to the right place and the right thing. So we need to share the channel information with them to create a this is not behind what should be prepared. So this is the action that we
Let me add on a little teachers of school trips. There was no clear-cut code of conduct. But because they were teachers in this language, they should know that consuming alcohol during an official business trip is definitely a no-no. It comes under your implied terms and conditions. Correct or not? So because of that, we as a company, we actually took a harder approach. We actually show cause the teachers. We have all the evidences, the testimony, the statement, the CCTV. We even drove down to Eagle Ranch Hospital and spoke to the management to obtain CCTVs. We did that. So in this case, the teacher was issued a show cause. We did our own investigation. We ended up giving the teachers a warning letter. That's for the teachers. The administrator who joked was the principal of the international school who loves to drink. So he had a very quiet counseling by the executive principal, and the HR was in attendance during that counseling. So a little email was sent just to remind him to be cautious when you're making such suggestive remarks, because it's very unprofessional. And another part of this is an SOP for school trip was actually developed. So following this case, 3 actions came about. Action was taken against the teachers, action was taken against the principal, and an SOP developed for school trips. Okay, so well done team. Alright, next case, who wants to deliver? Who wants to deliver? Come on! Alright. This is Mr. Tom. Alright, let's hear from them, Mr. Tom. No need.
Action is basically, it's a major misconduct. So we bring the show cause and also investigation. And firstly, we have the complainant to raise the formal complaint. Right? And the regular practice is because he started the complaint station and the unprofessional behavior of the employee. Right? And there were also some harassment also happened. Any other action? We basically get the information, probably getting the CCTV recording. You see the computer has mentioned that the peeping was in the classroom to get the recording as well. And also to get and if there are any witnesses, you get a report from them as well. Right? And the type of documentation, I think I put discussions, CCTV and also witness report. And the show cause letter is as below. It's a lengthy show cause letter. Another 2 pages letter. Okay. You need to go through one page.
Just the essence of it, just the essence of the show cause.
Okay, so we are going to basically issue a show cause letter and also with the notice of suspension. So when you look at here, we are issuing on based on the first incident on the August 19th, where
regarding the harassment and tarnishing of the company's reputation. So we have actually spelled out the incidents there. The school points.
Okay.
Third incident is basically about visiting the classroom and asking to leave on an urgent matter. So we have told and also telling the teacher that you are sorry too long
Basically asking the teacher to teach the corporations.
yes. Alright, and at the end, we are asking for the written explanation with regards of all special and we didn't include anything.
Okay, what is the date would you put there?
19.
Okay, no more. For the reply, for the reply.
哇，7 days 已經嚟過，可以哇！
7 days. 7 days. 7 days. It's always 7 days. Okay? 7 days. All right, good. Any suggestions? Anything? Criticism? Any recommendations? I will not. All right. Any suggestions? Anyone? Yes. Why not? All right. I've got a couple of suggestions. First and foremost is a witness report. There isn't any witness report because this is a he said, I say. Am I right? Okay. So a witness report here is not possible because each time the HOD was having the meeting with the teacher, it was on one-to-one. So there is no witness report. But you can tie in the timing whenever she was called into his office. And that is where your CCTV comes in. So you got to match it and cross-check it against her statement. So you must get a statement from your victim and you must get a statement from the HOD. Okay? Now, in your show cause letter, yes, you have outlined this incident happened, blah, 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 blah. What is the consequence of the allegation? You must always put down the consequence. And which policy does this action violate? Okay, we've got how many sexual policy? Got 2, yeah? Sexual harassment, I know, please stop going. Okay? So, whenever you're writing a show cause letter, if you have enough information, put all the information in your show cause. But the most important thing is, okay, I've done this, so what is the consequence? And then, this conduct, which policy did it violate? Put that into your show cause. That makes it much more tighter. Then it's easy for you to then craft your charges. Because the first thing when you go to court is the court is going to ask you, Mr. Employer, Jeremiah did this. What happened? What has it cost? You need to prove the damage. You need to prove the consequential effect of the conduct. And make sure you give them reasonable notice for them to reply. 7 days. It's always 5 working days plus weekend. 7 days. Suspension. Full pay or half pay? Full pay. Yes. Organization very generous next year. All full pay. By law it is? For how long? 40 forever. All right. Very good. Okay. The last case. Mr. Ahmad.
case? No? Okay. So for the first questions, we will go with the informal discussion with Ahmad for 3 times, which we will cover. The first time will be on exam period, the second one will be September 5 days, and the third one will be the 3 days of absenteeism in October. Okay? So if let's say Ahmad is still no improvement in terms of attendance, so we will issue a short course letter to Ahmad. Basically based on his reply, we decided to issue a warning letter based on the reply, meaning that driver accepted. So this will be our draft of the letter. Dear Ahmad, we have observed that you have repeatedly absent from work without valid justification. This has disrupted workflow and team productivity.
Excellent.
So we will list out whatever absenteeism dates as the supporting documents and as a proof from our side. So your actions are in violation of company's attendance policy. You are hereby required to provide a written explanation within we change to 7 days. Of the letter. So irrespectively analyzed.
Okay.
Okay, for the third, we just skip that one because we think this is already sufficient enough. So the fourth one will be types of documentation to support. It will be email.
Yes.
For the first 3 discussion informal 3 times.
Yes.
The second one will be attendance report. The third one will be leave trend analysis from our side.
Excellent.
So we have drafted also for the warning letter. So the subject will be almost the same, but it will be warning letter for repeated absenteeism. Dear Ahmad, this letter serves as a formal warning regarding your repeated absenteeism. Come up again on the list of the absenteeism dates. Your behavior violates the company attendance policy, disrupt operations, and it is unacceptable. So you may expect to immediately improve attendance. So next will be further instances of absenteeism may result in discrimination up to and including termination. So we will ask to please acknowledge receipt of the letter by signing. Yeah.
Perfect. Team. Team, any questions? Any suggestions? What do you all think? Excellent work, by the way. Thank you. Alright, I just want to chip in a little bit, yeah? Always remember, yeah, when you are actually doing your show course needs to have certain languages in the letter. You know, and that is basically the minimum requirements in order to meet the natural justice. So meaning that, you know, they will urge you to respond to the show course letter. In the event you choose not to reply, you will assume that you have no explanation to offer, and therefore you will proceed with the next disciplinary action. These kind of sentences need to be in your letter. And then when you're giving a person a suspension, it must state very clearly whether it's full pay or half pay, whether it is for a specific period of time or whether it is indefinite. These are things that need to be in the letter. And very important when we are issuing a show cause, we must be in a letterhead, not email. Letterhead. Why? Because we want the employee to acknowledge. Acknowledgement copy is very important. So I think everyone has learned some drafting skills. I'm so sorry to put you all through this, but that's the only way you will learn. So the previous question that we have is, this is the process at a glance. So you have the misconduct, you determine the level of misconduct, you issue the show cause. And I put here mandatory because it's mandatory. Reply to show cause for misconduct. If it is huge issue, you go for suspension optional, you go for a DI. If this person has already replied, accepted, you mete out the punishment, you issue them with a warning. Always remember, yeah, any punishment, including the start of a domestic inquiry, requires consultation approval from your campus principal, VP, as well as CA travel and CU. This is in accordance with the scheme of delegation by axial delegation. Okay? These are a few things that you can do. Demotion, termination, not guilty verdict can come out of it. Guilty, remain in current position but given stern warning. Guilty and no pay during suspension can also be one of it. Other lesser punishment. Now the important thing is there cannot be a double punishment. What that means is, let's say you put someone on a suspension half pay. Then he or she goes to a DI and he or she is found guilty. Then you decide to actually do a salary cut. Is there a double punishment? Yeah. So consider all these factors very carefully. So most companies like XCL, they rather suspend on full pay. Suspension is very important, but it also can be seen as a victimization. This is $1 million question, to suspend or not to suspend. At which point during a disciplinary action would you suspend someone? I'm sorry?
Corporal punishment for major misconduct.
Corporal punishment, yes, that's a gross major misconduct. Some more? Harassment. Yes. Sexual harassment, Employment Act is embedded in the Act. Any allegations of sexual harassment, workplace harassment, racial harassment, any harassment that brings intimidation and fear to a member of staff is always good to suspend. Why? Because you don't want the alleged employee to be in the organization. By him being in the workplace, that itself scares the employee. Correct or not? And he or she can also tamper the investigation process. He or she can also intimidate company witnesses. So it's $1 million question which you have to ask. You have to be judged. You have to take some judgment calls whether you want to or you don't want to. Okay? Now, this is the purpose of suspension. You want to have an ease of investigation. You want to prevent the accused employee from tampering any evidences, particularly if there are any kind of what do you call that, if they bug the IT systems, for example. Or they want to remove a CCTV camera, you never know. Okay? Then you also want you to prevent to do the same misconduct. Because you don't want to be repeating his misconduct, correct or not? So you rather get him out of employment.